Pharshat Pekudei. Very confusing parasha. I hope you all feel the same. And why is it confusing? Let's see. You know, we all always want to reach somewhere, get somewhere. I don't know about you, but I couldn't wait to become bar mitzvah, right? And then you can't wait to finish high school, and then you can't wait to finish to find a kala, to get a job, to have a kid. You always everything you should know though. Everything like that, Rebbe, everything like this is just a introduction, an entry to the real thing that really did not start. And what is this? Because we always in a rush. If you look around yourself and around the way we live, our pace of life is really astonishing. I mean, life is flying by like crazy. We're always running, we're always doing things, we're running from here to there. Rebs, take something, you know. We always, by the way, find us, I don't know about you, I can only speak for myself, find myself like really exhausted from this juggling, endless juggling of the reality of life on the 21st century. It really is crazy. For whatever reason, it seems like it's not what it used to be. For example, first thing in the morning, you know, you barely open your eyes, the chase already started, right? You have to start running. You have to start moving. You have to go to work. You have to bring parnasa. You have to take care of your mishpacha, your family. Take care of your wife, your kids, and so on and so forth. You have to go to school. The kids have after activities, curriculum, all kind of stuff like this. Maybe you have to go to a little bit of yoga, some self-fulfillment that you have to do. Maybe catch lo aleinu, some TV shows that you haven't watched, books, needless to say, friends. Of course, you know, you can also add your own columns over there and mark V next to each one that you do, and you really have to accomplish all these things. And you should know that this phenomenon did not really skip the frum world as well, because just to add on to that, what you need to do as a frum person, you have to get up earlier, you have to go to shul, right? If you don't go to shul, at least you have to daven at home, you have to put filling on, you have to learn Torah, you have to do mitzvot, you have to work on your midot, so on and so forth. You have to, instead of daf yomi, they should call it chasing the daf yomi. No, it's always running. I have to, you early. You have to accomplish all the time, and so on and so forth. In other words, there's never a dull moment. Always running, and eventually you get tired, you know, and it's exhausting. So, according to this phenomena that we always have to be moving and running, those dull moments is the moments that we stop running and we basically take a little rest, and that usually is being viewed as a non-productive time of your life, right? To chill out and to relax almost seems like a very bad thing to do. You know, maybe sometimes not doing anything, chilling out, feels like a little sin, you know, somewhere along the line. You know, maybe I'm doing an averah here somewhere. Maybe there's a feeling of missing out or giving up. You know, oh, I can't do this anymore, so I'm taking a break. So, oh, you're a loser, and so on and so forth. Especially in this generation, it seems like this, because this is like, we all have to be overachievers. You know, if before you had to put 100%, today 100% is not enough. You have to put 150%. It's not. You wanna progress at work. All right, you don't just need to do what you need to do. You have to do extra curriculum for you, right? You can tell me very good about this, right, Yitzchak? So, and you can see it's very hard for us to take, to really take a time out and really have like this internal tranquility. Muy tranquilo, right? Usually that seems to be like in a negative way. We tend to call certain people lazy because they seem to rest more than us and so on and so forth. However, if you would look in our parasha, in the last pasuk, Rashi does not really hold like this. And there is a certain stira, there's a certain contradiction in this parasha that we need to see. Maybe we got it all wrong, we got everything wrong, or maybe we got everything wrong. And there's no contradiction. We need to see that. So Rashi, in the pasuk that talks about after Moshe Rabbeinu built the Mishkan and the Shekhinah, came upon it, the Torah says, Ki anan Hashem ala Mishkan yomam ve'esh tihe layla bo le'enei kol bet Yisrael bechol masayim. That the cloud of God was on the Mishkan during the day, and there was fire around it at night, to the eyes of the Jews in all their journeys. Masayim is in journeys. The problem, quote unquote, in this pasuk is really there by the way we have it, and we read it before in the few psukim beforehand. The cloud, Anan, they really represent Hashra'at Shekhinah, the divine providence over Am Yisrael, appears when? Every time Bnei Israel are not moving. Every time Am Yisrael is actually resting. They make a chanaya. They went into a rest area, right? Only then there is the Hashra'at Shekhinah, and that cloud disappears every time they are moving on a journey. So maybe we really got it all wrong here. You see, it should really be the other way around. So therefore, the pasuk that tells us, why is the pasuk tell us that Hashra'at Shekhinah comes only when they're resting, not when they're traveling? I mean, it's a fantastic question. So, of course, we have this wonderful Rashi, that he paid attention to this kushia, he saw this thing coming, and he's answering. And Rashi says the following, B'chol masa shayu nos'im, every place that they used to travel, haya anan shochen b'makom asher yachanu sham. In a way, the cloud went ahead to the place in which they're going to rest, and they aligned themselves according to where the Anan is. They knew that that's where they have to go, that's where they have to rest. Makom chaniyatan, the place of the rest, the rest pits that they had over there, this is also considered to be a journey. It's very perplexing. Why? So Rashi says, because they went from one place to another place, from one resting place to another resting place. This whole place, this whole journey is called Masah, including the resting spot. However, if we'll look at it this way, it comes from here that when Bnei Israel rested, they really traveled. Kasher Chanu Nasu, that's what it seems like. And the answer is yes. Yes. Resting, is a part of the journey. Resting is a part of the journey. How wonderful it is when you travel and after a hard day of driving, you've been driving for 6-8 hours straight, right? And you have another 3 hours to your destination, or whatever. You pull out to the side, stretch your leg a little bit, have a little sandwich, make yourself a little coffee, make coffee, right? Or you go to some pit stop, some truck rest area, you guys are your travelers, right? You start drooling. They're traveling wheelbarrows, Right? How wonderful that is. All of a sudden you're saying, wow. And I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes those stops on the side of the road were more enjoyable than the whole entire ordeal. Even reaching to the destination. At a certain point, like, I was in Santa Fe recently, right? In New Mexico. At a certain point, I didn't care where I'm going. I went to places because there was snow all over the place. It was closed. I didn't really care. It was just great. I don't think I'll ever forget. We kind of ran out of towels because there was supposed to be a huge snowstorm coming our way. And I said to my wife, all right, let's just go a little faster. Let's take the scenic route. Always take the scenic route. However, let's go just a little faster. Let's spend less time in Tahoe, and we'll go back to Santa Fe. And I remember I took the high road, and I saw the most magnificent sight of seeing the Rio Grande. And I just pulled like Starsky and Hutch, like, too bad I didn't have a rear-wheel drive car like I have here. Otherwise, I will lift my arm brake and make But and it was freezing cold out. It was windy and cold, and it was very clear because we drove faster than the storm. But I'll never forget, in the freezing cold, going out and eating by the Rio Grande. The Chanaya, that spot was amazing. If you want, I'll show you some pictures later. That spot on the side was great. I don't know if you ever went somewhere and you just had, your thermos or whatever it is. If not a thermos, it's like at least a burner. When you can make yourself coffee, you take a thermos and drink some coffee or warm tea on the side of the road. Life doesn't get any better than that. It's better than any martini you'll have anywhere, shaken or stirred. I guarantee you that. So, yes, that chanaya, that rest stop, is a part of the journey as well. And it's very important part of the journey. So therefore, that in a way brings us a contradiction. There's a certain contradiction which we spoke about before, that we know we always have to run, we have to run. Not only that, the contradiction comes because we know that, I think the health World Health Organization, one of those like corrupt things. Anyway, but never mind. They say that sitting down is today. Sitting down when we sit in front of the computer, or we sit down at home on the telephone, or we sit down. Sitting today is like what smoking used to be back then. In other words, not moving is a very dangerous thing for you. Okay, we get the conditions that 60-year-old truck drivers get. We get today by 30-year-old guys because we sit all day long. And according to the World Health Organization, that's the fourth most dangerous condition that there is, sitting down, just sitting down, not moving. So it's a contradiction. It really is a contradiction. And it's greater, by the way, than obesity, just sitting down and doing nothing. One of the expression they use is like sitting yourself to death. We're basically killing ourselves just sitting down. Our bodies were created for movement, to standing, to walking, to running, to jumping, to all these things was built for movement. And if we are not going to take care of our body and we're not going to move, we're going to bring upon ourselves, chas v'shalom, many dangerous conditions that are going to impair our health. And it says, and therefore the question it says is, since we know that the outside, we spoke about it many times, that the outside reflects on the inside, and the inside reflects on the outside, right? So is this also true to what is expected from us, from the body to the spirit itself, to our neshama as well? I mean, is our neshama needs to be in a constant bombardment of running and not selling? I mean, you can't catch your breath like this. You develop anxieties like this. You can't take it anymore. It will kill you. The stress will kill you. And yet you're telling me I shouldn't sit down. So what am I supposed to do? Not being born? What am I supposed to do? You damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So what am I supposed to do? Well, it's first of all in Tehillim it tells us and makes us even more confusing, right? The first Tehillim that we say is, what do we say? אשרי איש אשר לא הלך בעצת רשעים ובדרך חטאים לא עמד ובמושב לצים לא ישב. So therefore you see by negativity, by the whole process of negativity, you see really of what bad life is in terms of what? Chasing after the wrong values. And here we might come slowly to uncover this contradiction that we have, the wrong values that we have. The bad person starts first of all with walking, and then he stands, and then he sits. That's a very bad way of life. Think about lehavdil. If you take the avot, Avraham went, הלך, יצחק עומד בשדה, ויעקב יושב אוהלים. Just the opposite. You can sit, you can walk, you can, in the right way. In the right way. However, yet, continue with that, right? And there's another Tehillim that says, when we say Hallel, that laughs about the idols. What does it say? Atzavehem, כסף וזהב, מעשה ידי האדם. פה להם לא ידברו. עיניים להם ולא יראו. אוזניים להם לא ישמעו. אף להם לא יריחון. ידיהם ולא ימישון. רגליהם ילכון. לא יהגו בגרונם. What? כמוהם יהיו עושיהם. Whoever is not walking, whoever is not moving is like the אלילים. כמוהם יהיו עושיהם. In other words, if your values are for items, for objects, for idols, right? You're also going to be like that. You're also going to be like that. Because the pasuk says, Kol asher boteach b'hem, right? And so on and so on, right? And beruchim atem le'Hashem, oseh shamayim va'aretz. You don't want to be like this. You have to do everything that is going to be blessed by Hashem to your doing. I think it's a tremendous musar. Talking about musar, where's your brother? So, Eitan is yeah, being whipped again. You have to do shopping at Costco for Shabbat. I hope he watches this. And it's not Eitan Grossman, Tzaddik, he's sitting right here. Yeah, you're here. Right? So, I'm going to tell you something. We're talking about values. Let's talk a little bit about values. One of the most famous life coaches in the world, his name is Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins?
Tony
Robbins?
Yeah. You know him?
Yeah, big guy.
I don't know, big guy, I just saw his picture. I don't know if it's big guy, I didn't measure him, right? He says there are 6 basic needs in a person that a person needs, and without really satisfying those needs, our life is not life. And he calls them the 6 core human needs that is. And what are the 6 core human needs? Serenity, variety, significance, love and connection, growth and contribution. And he says that the first 4 needs are defined as needs of the personality, and the last 2 are identified as the needs of the spirit. There's the need of the spirit. Both of them, of course, that we are talking about is the need for certainty and the need and the lack of certainty, right? So it basically means that in order to live in happiness, we need to have a place that is going to be secure, something inside of us that is going to be secure, a core that is that is like the sela, like a rock in the ocean that we can always refer to. The core of condensation in which all our lives are involved, and it's not changing. It's always going to be there. And that's maybe Hashem is also called Hatzur, right? Hatzur Tamim Pa'aro. He's like a rock. He always could rely on Hashem, so we need that. But together with that, in a materialistic point of view, we all need the certain. It's very hard to. Let's put it this way: it's very hard to be a nomad. We all want the house. We want something. Okay, I have a house. I have somewhere to put my head on. Some very basic needs. Without that, I'm going to feel very uncertain, and that uncertainty is going to cause me an anxiety, and I'm going to feel very fearful, and because I don't know where I'm going to put my head tomorrow, and so on and so forth. Right? However, if we're going to surround ourselves to those needs, to be always solid, to attach ourselves to materialistic objects, right? We might come to forget that you have a need also to rejuvenate and to renew yourself all the time. Because then you become boring in a surprise, or maybe even breaking the rules, or coming out of the shell. That's why it's good sometimes to, tzaddikim atem lovshim yeshivish clothing, But, it's good sometimes, yes, Krav Maga over there. It's good sometimes to put your pair of jeans and to put your boots and to put your flannel shirt and to go out there. It's okay. You need that as well. You need sometimes to take a break 1 second. And these are basically the two directions in which we mentioned the pasuk. In the first pasuk, on one hand we have the journey, the masa, and on the other hand we have the chanaya, the resting of the chanaya. So the journey symbolizes the need for us to progress, to develop, to start new things, to become better, this everlasting change, because you are not I sure hope so, you are not the same person that you were when you were 15. Those people who never change, and you find themselves 50 years old and still have the same core values and interests as they were 15, you said, something's wrong with this guy. Listen, he's like a very mature person. That's why it's important to play when you are a kid, so when you grow up, you grow out of it. Don't prevent your kids from playing because he's going to play as an adult. And it's very important to learn new stuff all the time. And that's the beauty of Torah. Because you never learned it all. However, beyond that, and besides that, it's very important to learn other things as well. New skills. Like playing a Native American flute. Hello, Yitzchak. Or pottery, or painting, or language, or whatever it is. This rejuvenation, that's the journey, that's the beauty of things. However, the chanaya, the rest place, is the secure place without a chase, without this craziness, without going 100 miles an hour. That's the rest. According to what Rashi told us, that pasuk reminds us that regardless of the fact that we're always in a journey to, hopefully all of us, to whatever extent want to make our life better and to become better in our life. Now that's the journey that we are going. We should not think that those resting times are a waste of time. The rest of times are needed. Because if you learn, for example, you never rest, you would never be able to retrieve this information. It's going to be like a sift, in and out, going in, going out. You need time to process the information. You need time to rest. Baruch Hashem that HaKadosh Baruch Hu understands that and gave us the Shabbat. Otherwise, I don't know what would be with us. And that's why I don't understand the way that some Jews feel that Shabbat is a burden on them. I feel bad for them, not for the fact of the punishment of Shabbat and the missing the beauty of Shabbat, just for the fact that their life is not life. They never rest. They're always running. They're running from one place to another. Shabbat, you should be home. That's why I don't like to go as a guest on Shabbat. You want a guest? Come to me. I don't like to go as a guest on Shabbat. I like to be home. I like to be in my home, in my room, in my bed, all week long, running here, going there, going there. Shabbat, I want to be home. I need this core of sanity in the insanity of life. If you don't rest on Shabbat, if you one Shabbat go to this one Shabbat go to the other one, have a meal by you, have a meal by this one, I would never rest, and the system is going to come to an overload. I'm going to snap. Everybody's going to snap. If there is an emergency, I hear you, but you have to sleep, you have to rest. You have to rest from all these bombardments that comes to you day in and day out, 25 hours a day. Shabbat, Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you can't think of anything. You don't talk about business. You don't talk about anything. Nothing. And people are very, what am I supposed to do? Supposed to do nothing. Relax. And then you can face the week. If you don't do so on Shabbat, you won't be able to make it past Tuesday. And then you have still Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and then you get angry, you get snappy, and you get crazy at your wife, and your wife gets angry at you, and you get snappy at the kids, and you're missing this opportunity. Before you know, boom, it's all gone, it's all over. And then you're going to say to yourself, what a chamor I was. Should have been nicer to my kids. Look at them, they all grew up already. They're running like Mustangs in the prairies. Or running like Mustangs in a 5-lane highway. But they're running away. Mustang is a great car, by the way. Especially a GT. Anybody doesn't agree with me, by the way? Okay, thought so. Anyway, so you should know that the chanaya, the rest, that pause that you have, is not less important than the journey. It is as important as the journey. You see, I said the journey, I didn't say the destination. The journey. You should know and be aware that the destination is not important. What's important is the journey. And when you're going to realize that, your life will be completely different. You actually might reach somewhere. Enjoy the journey. If you have some time off and you want to go somewhere, please do yourself a favor. Don't take highways. Just take the side roads. Look at the roads and nobody drives. It's beautiful. It's great. It's amazing. Unfortunately, we live in New York, so we can't take any dirt road. But how beautiful it is to take a Jeep and to go on a dirt road somewhere. Watch the sunset or get up to sunrise. Right? How beautiful it was to get up and actually daven with Hanetzach Hama when you were out there. With here, you don't. Why don't you daven here in Hanetzach Hama? Because you don't see the beauty of the Hama. Why? Because you don't have time. If you would have time, I mean, did you ever think about when you go away, not to a hotel? Hotel is nowhere you should be going to. But because why? Because in hotels you are busy to run from one activity to the other. That's stupid. I mean, you have to be a real buffoon to do that, to go on a vacation to a hotel. But think about this. You go on vacation, you get up, and you daven with Hanetzach Hama. When you're here, you never do. You barely make it to minyan. Why? Because, again, you don't see the Hama, you don't see the beauty, this magnitude, this sheer beauty of creation. So there's nothing for me to look forward to, because I don't have time. And what am I missing? Then you wonder why my davening, I can connect through davening. That's exactly the reason is. Still there is a contradiction, it does. So that somewhat explains the contradiction. However, Rav Kook in Sefer Olat Raya, in the section that talks about Knesset Levet HaKnesset, says the following: Ha'ishtalmut ha'me'usheret, the point, the sheer happiness, she'elea ra'ui sheyichsof ha'adam, that the man should desire and strive to, tamid, bechol chayav, belo erev, all his life, without stop, מיוסדת על שתי בחינות יסודיות, is established on two fundamental points. האחת, the first one, להיות האדם שואף תמיד להתעלות. You should always desire to become better. Not to get by, not to do the minimum, to become better. And that's why I can tell you time and time again, you need to find something in life besides wasting time that you are very good at. Become an expert in something. Whatever that is. Even if it's planting tomatoes, become an expert in planting tomatoes. It does not make a difference. You have to learn to become better. That will teach you to become better in everything. So you have to strive to become better in everything that you do. להתעלות, and he said how even more so, להתעלות, to elevate yourself, ולעלות אל על במעלות הקודש. You have to strive to become holy all the time, to do things better in עבודת השם. להוסיף חוכמה ודעת קדושים רבה. To add knowledge of the rabbis and the sages to become one yourself. And there's no reason why all of you cannot become sages, and not the sage that you burn in Native American things, right? Real chachamim. והשנייה, the second time, היא הבסיסיות של העמדה. You have to create a core of stability. So on one hand you're moving all the time, and on the other hand you're stable all the time. התוכן השומר את המצב, something that would keep the content of who you are and what you are, שלא ייהרס, so that would not destroy. To remember all the time that you are a Jew, in whatever it is that you do, that you have a Jewish neshama, in whatever you do, that should not be destroyed, in whatever it is that you do, in whatever it is you're changing. You need to have a point of reference in which you can go and develop and grow and move on from there. ובוודאי שאלה שתי הכרחויות היסודות הם האוצר העליון. That's considered to be a great treasure if you're able to contemplate into that and actually execute and live according to these 2 points. So from here you could really see something else also. You could really see that, or learn that at the end of time, at the end of history, whether it's for man or for as an individual or man as mankind, we will have to give the Masechet Avodah Zarah talks about it as well. We will have to give an account on the resources that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you, that provided you to make tikkun olam, right? Letaken olam b'malchut Shaddai. In other words, to turn this world into a palace for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and not a place of oppression and destruction. As Rashi, by the way, explained to us in the beginning of Sefer Shmot, it says, "Lekulam b'shem ikra, v'zeu kol ma'aruto shel Sefer Shmot." Lekulam b'shemot ikra. Then there's a name and a purpose for everything, because only when you do so, you could move a stage to the next stage. Not to create the Kodesh, but to actually להיכנס מלקודש פנימה, to enter into the holy domain. And as Moshe Rabbeinu did, Moshe Rabbeinu entered to the Kodesh. He became a part of the Kedusha. He didn't become holy, he became a part of the Kedusha. So we have to pay attention to the end of Parashat Pekudei, which is also the end of Parashat Sefer Shmot. And we're talking about the Masaot, the journeys, and how it is really connected to Sefer Bamidbar and Parashat Masai and so on. And it says, Rashi says over there, לעיני כל בית ישראל בכל מסעיהם, בכל מסע שהיו נוסעים, היה אדם, and as we said before, the Anan used to stay where they used to rest, and so on and so forth. And the Masaot that they have there, and Parashat Masai, Parashat Pekudei, we have also, there is the what connects them is basically Oil Moed, the Mishkan. And maybe because of the Mishkan, because of this item that really connects us to Parashiot, we can learn really an unbelievable lesson here. And if we look you look at all the layers of this pasuk and whatever comes out from that, and we look to the Pirush of Rashi, you really see again what does it mean to rest, and why does resting, as we said beforehand, is called a Masa as well, and why resting, of course, with a purpose, is considered to be a journey as well, and why is called Masaot the place in which they rest, not the traveling that they did. He tells us they rested here and they rested there and they rested here and so on and so forth. When we all know, of course, that it's how you come at the end of the day, the last stop, which is really important, which is the holy end. But why? What's so special about the resting place? And if we go like, as we said before, like everybody else, we'll say that at best, the resting spots that we did or they did was probably, as most people will tell you, to really like regroup a little bit, to stretch your bones so you could what? Continue going on a journey. That's what most people will tell you. While you're resting, so to regroup, to stretch your body a little bit, to continue in the journey. However, it's not really like that. It's not really like that. Because the main point of a journey is, in any stage, every progress that you made in the journey is considered to be an achievement. Everything that you achieve, everything that you go. So, for example, even if you went to college and you took a course and you dropped the course in the middle, the fact that you got in the middle and you learned something until that point, that's an achievement as well. We learned from a society that it's like a basketball thing. Life is like a basketball game. You take the ball, put it in the basket, got 2 points. But life is not a basketball game. Life is a continuous effort throughout your life of everything that you did. Not points that you scored. And if you understand that, so therefore it's not a big deal to move on and not to fall into depression. Oh my goodness, I dropped this course and it really, whatever, on my GPS, GPA is, I lost my GPS and my GPA, it's like completely below, it's completely went south, instead of showing north, It does. You learn something. That's an achievement. Look at what you have. Don't look at what you don't have. Look at what you achieved and how much more you know now. Let's say you took, some kind of a crazy math, and you quit because you couldn't finish it. You couldn't do it. But you know more now than you did before. Isn't that an achievement? It's an achievement. So why are you so eager to give up? Why are you so eager to say, oh, I quit? Because we're looking at things wrong. And this parasha is teaching us a tremendous, tremendous lesson. And as our body, our neshama also was not created to rest and to be idle, dead. We were created for movement, to learning, to striving, to desire, to have a will, to acquire. And do we really have it? Or it's just limited to material things? How much do we really want to grow spiritually or as individuals? It says, Lo alenu amelacha ligmor, right? It's not up to us to finish, but we have to start. Pay attention to something wonderful. That the most important thing was when they rested, the Mishkan, they rested, the Shekhinah came. If you want to know why, I'm going to tell you. based on what I just said to you before. When they travel in the desert, the Mishkan was all disassembled in parts. So there was no Shekhinah. There was no place for the Shekhinah to stay. When they came into the place, every single stop that they made, they built the Mishkan again. Every time that they came in and they built the Mishkan, the Shekhinah came in. You hear from here that Biniyat Mishkan, building the Mishkan, is the goal, and that's why the resting spot is more important than the journey itself, because it was creating a place for the Shekhinah to stay. If you are busy all the time in your life, running around, and you're not building your own internal Mishkan, how do you expect the Shekhinah to dwell inside of you? Is to make Vasuli Mishkan v'shachanti betocham. You need to take all these things and apply it to your life. And that's why you need the rest. You need the spiritual rest that would allow you to build the Mishkan, the holy vessel. So it will be place for the Neshama Yetera that comes for you on Shabbat. So you would understand that it's not the journey, is what you do when you reach to the resting points, is building the Mishkan. That's why the Masa, the journey, was called the resting place, because the whole journey was to reach the point in which they can build the Mishkan. And that's, at least to me, an unbelievable idea, an unbelievable concept. And moving or not moving, resting or not resting, is not really that important. What really is important is in the meaning and the reason why you do what you're doing. If you are resting to dwell in, to contemplate, to think, to plan how to become better, well, that resting creates the Mishkan inside of you. If you are resting because you don't want to do anything, you're lazy, therefore you're useless. If you're running around because you're keeping yourself busy and you're not running around for mitzvot, Hem ratzim ve'anu ratzim. They are running and we are running. It's the purpose. So therefore the most important thing in your life journey is the purpose. What is the purpose of your life? What purpose do you have as a person, as a Jew? People with no purpose are lost. And these are the things that we need to do. For the body, we need to move. For the soul, we need to rest. Sometimes the soul needs to rest, to move, and the body is resting. It all depends on what is it that I need and why am I doing what I'm doing. You cannot continue living your life without asking yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? What is the purpose? What is the meaning behind what I'm doing? Our life is really a journey that goes on a balance between resting and moving. And we need this balance, and this balance is very, very important. That's why Shabbat is important. That's why Tefillah is important. Those islands of rest through the movement of the day, in order for you not to lose focus, to know where are you going with. Because otherwise it's like a slave. You don't know, you're blind. So open your eyes and look within. Look inside of you. Are you satisfied with your life you're living? Do you know where you're going? Do you know where you're from? In this great generation that we're living in this great tribulation that we are facing in our generation. Do you know where you're going? Of course, you have to walk. You have to walk through the roads of creation. We are leaving Babylon, Yahoo, and we are going to our Father's land, in the land where you're going to be free. However, you should know that even when you reach the promised land, it is not for you to rest. As it says to Yaakov Avinu, he thought that he's all reaching the place of rest, and then he got all bamboozled with Yosef. We're reaching the Father's lands, our homeland, and Eretz Israel, for one thing and one thing only, so we could elevate ourselves to be nichnasim lakodesh, to enter the holiness. That's what it's called, the Holy Land. So stop being in the galut of Babylon and start become free. Have your own personal exodus. Shabbat Shalom.